And good evening, everybody, and welcome to the school sports year of 2024-25 and high school football here on Nashua ETV. I'm Tom King along with Rich McDonough, and here at Stellos Stadium tonight, it is Bedford High School against Nashua North. We've had this opener before a couple of years ago, and Bedford, of course, two-time defending champions. I don't think 2 years ago when this game was played we would have thought that happened, Rich McDonough, but boy, they have been powerful the last couple of years.
They sure have, and yeah, they wiggled their way into that playoff bracket a couple seasons ago, and then they really caught fire running the table. Last year, it was absolute domination, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. They were holding great teams to 3 and 0.
That defense 2 years ago was the best high school football defense I've ever seen.
And they got better.
Yeah. And so now they're going out here for at the 50-yard line for the coin toss. But Nashua North will have John Canaway back at quarterback.
Yep.
Darius Sasay is going to be a multi-person guy. He's going to be able to catch the ball a little bit. He could have played quarterback if Canaway got hurt. And we're going to have some other rock and sock'em football with Nashua North. Their line has been a state of flux this year.
State of flux, but interesting story here. You've got Bedford, who had all kinds of horses on that O-line. 5 of them graduated, including the State Player of the Year, Kevin Sheridan.
Right.
But now you have a Nashua North team, conversely, that has numerous upperclassmen and seniors at their O-line position. Can they lean on those fellows with their experience and maturity? One thing that's worth noting for North, though, is the big, strong number 73, Nick Jersek, is out. He is in a boot on the sidelines.
That's not good. And Luke Peters has been injured, too.
He is injured and out. Yeah, he hurt his knee during the Alvern scrimmage a week ago.
Yep.
And he's not able to go tonight. They're hoping he'll get back tomorrow. That's a huge loss. The Peters boys, no strangers to having the motor. Right,
Definitely.
Tom? You know best.
I know it. Nope. They have been the heart and soul, really, of this program for the last few years. So we'll see what happens. It's good news that he might be able to come back soon. So,
yeah.
Rich McDonough, you take it over for the first quarter. I'll be down on the field. I should be back sometime during early part of quarter number 2.
All right, TK is moonlighting as he always does. He heads down for the Nashua Telegraph. But he does a great job. Read his stuff in the Telegraph. You'll see his photography there as well. The man does it all, and that's why we call him TKpedia. Again, I'm Rich McDonough here for Nashua ETV. This is going to be a fun game tonight under the lights here at Stellos Stadium. I've been here myriad times, both as an analyst and color commentator, as a lacrosse coach and former BG parent, whose son is now at UVA, not playing football, but happily at the Cavaliers' end zone. That's where his dorm ended up. But we have a great game, I think, teed up for tonight. Two-time defending champion. They're number 1 in the power poll preseason. Nashua North is number 6. They went 6-3 last year, and they lost in the quarterfinals to Portsmouth Oyster River. And they're looking to do a little bit better than that this year. Again, as we said, John Canaway hurt his knee last year, and 8 months later, he's back at the helm and under center. Luke Peters, their do-all guy, is out for tonight. Darius Smith, look for Darius Smith. He's number 22. He may run the ball tonight. He is packs a wallop. On the other side of the tail of tape there, Brody Helton, number 26 for the Bedford Bulldogs. First team All-State running back as a sophomore, and he is a gifted lacrosse player as well. But here we go from Stellos Stadium, Bedford teeing it up and kicking it off. And Nashua North on a good-looking return. He slips, breaks it outside the 50, and down into Bedford territory goes Javon George. And just like that, 11 seconds in, George has a 42-yard return, and he lights it up for his team to get started. And you can't, if you are the Nashua North coach, Chad Zabolis, with whom I spoke today, you are really happy that things got out of the gate that way. 11:49 on the clock, and Nashua North has the ball at the Bulldogs' 47-yard line. And again, John Canaway, he hurt his knee last year, and good player. He's a senior, and he will be under center. You can see him wearing the leg brace on his right knee. 8 months after surgery, he's here. And there goes Darius Smith right out of the gate, and he loses a yard. Great tackle from behind by the trailing Bulldog defense. And that was Jacob Sheff on the tackle there, number 57. Good tackle from behind on a big man. Darius Smith is a Swiss Army knife. He is now running the ball again. He was a natural running back when he started, but he moved to O-line and is one of those guys who is the heart and soul type of people. And he will do everything the coach asks him to do, and he does it really, really well. All right, 2nd down and 11, and we're at 11-11 in the first quarter, first game of the season here on Nashua ETV at the home field of the Nashua North Titans. Going up the gut this time is Smith, and he's gang tackled, once again led there by Jacob Sheff. Also in on that tackle was Noah Casamassino. And Smith picked up 4 on 3rd and 11, or 3 on 3rd and 11, and we're going to make that 3rd down and 8. And we're at 10:35 and ticking. No score, as we're only on the 3rd play of the game. That included the kickoff, but it is 3rd down and a healthy 8 yards for Nashua North at the 45-yard line. Got trips right nearest the camera here. And a low snap handled by Canaway. Good, throws it outside, little bit of a funnel type of thing. And that's number 80 on the catch is Sean Burris. He's a sophomore, good looking, lengthy receiver. And he came up just short. He got to the 38-yard line. The line to gain is the 37, so we go to 4th and 1 as we're under 10 minutes now in the first quarter. And the coaches want to have a word with their quarterback. And coming into the game is Jack Krulikowski. He's one of their tri-captains here and a real leader. And look for him to make some noise for Player of the Year votes. All right, here we go, 4th and 1 for the Titans. Looking to keep their early first drive of the season, first drive of the game going against the Bedford Bulldogs, 2-time defending champs. And we got a whistle. And Bulldogs call timeout. They had a loaded backfield. Probably want to take a long look at that, or at least longer look, and maybe have Nashua North take a second look at what its package has in it. But again, with Luke Peters out, we're going to see, as Tom King mentioned, a lot of number 3, Darius Sisse. He will occupy a lot of the slot receiving duties, and they want to get the ball to him. He's a sophomore, but he's quick, and he's got the heart of a tiger. And Coach Zabola said he wants to get him the ball, and he thinks he'll do important things in Luke Peters' absence. And again, when I talk to Coach Zabola, it's worth knowing, we're looking at a juggernaut in Bedford, potentially. Are they reloaded or are they rebuilding? They're reloading. They have a good feeder program, and they have a lot of good DNA in their ranks. They want to manage the clock, does Nashua North. They want to keep Helton off the field, of course, and they want to protect that ball. 4th and 1 coming up, 9:21 in the quarter after the timeout broke. Bedford had called its first one of the evening to discuss their options here. And now we got Canaway deep shotgun, and he's got tailbacks either side of him, and he gives off to Smith. Smith is wrapped up hard by Helton, and number 71 out there is Connor Flaherty. But on that second effort there goes Darius Smith, big number 22, and he gets the first down, just getting about a foot over the line to gain, and that'll move the chains for the Nashua North Titans. And you can hear my buddy Jason Roby on the PA call here. Coach Roby, good friend of mine and great on the PA. I've done a lot of work with him in the broadcast booth as well. And that takes us to 9:13 in the first quarter, and it's a first down. We're going to roll clock per the refs here tonight, and Nashua North is just inside the Bedford 37-yard line as we wind down toward the 9-minute mark in the first quarter. No score. Same formation as we saw in the previous play with Smith way back deep. You cannot miss him with those electric shoes. Excuse me, that's not Smith, that's Darius Sisse. And he takes the ball, goes around right side. Some good blocking on the corner. but a good tackle coming up and forcing is Cam Santos and Bennett Matthews. Bennett Matthews, an excellent athlete. He and Brody Helton for Bedford might be the best two athletes in the state, and they are both outstanding lacrosse players, midfielders, and it's a miracle in some respects that Bedford has Matthews back. He's the son of the head coach, Zach Matthews, and it was rumored that he was going to go to some sort of prep school for lacrosse. As I said, he is an outstanding lacrosse player, but he stays in black and white and red, and he is a meaningful, valuable player for Coach Matthews. Not just because he's his son, but he is a gifted athlete. Okay, we're at 2nd and 4. Going inside, gang tackled is Smith. And he's met with a stout D line. And leading the charge there is Matthew Ben and number 62. That'll take us to 7:40 in the first quarter. Again, it's 0-0. And now Nashua North is just inside the Bedford 30-yard line with 3rd and 3 to go. And they certainly are being deliberate, and that was part of Coach Zabolis's theory going into the game tonight, was they do want to chew clock. The longer you keep Brody Helton and that offense off the field, the better it is for you. And we got a false start right before the ball was snapped, and that'll back them up 5 yards, folks. 7:14 on the clock as the fellas in blue start walking backwards. And with that 5-yard penalty unforced, that will set up a 3rd and 8 just inside the 35-yard line. Clock rolls again as Canaway trots onto the field to join his teammates about 6 yards behind the nose of the football. Canaway barks out a couple of orders, making sure they're all on the same page. Got your snap count down. He turns back to Sase, and they square up as we get going toward the snap. Again, it is 3rd down and 8 after that false start penalty, which was a 5-yard mark-off. And they fake it, roll outside, good, finding Smith underneath in the open, and he takes the hit, takes a good hard hit from Peter Suazo, but he fends that off, runs through the tackle, and he gets beyond the line to gain, and that'll move the chains one more time for Nashua North, which is liking its start tonight. We're rolling the clock. We're down to 6:30, and this drive, they took the opening kickoff, and this is a healthy march down the field, chewing all kinds of time off the clock and doing exactly what Coach Zabolis asked his team to do. And they're moving the players on the Bedford D-line. They lost a number of D-line players. I think they had 5 first teamers on defense last year, and they lost them to graduation. They look like they're reloaded, but Nashua North so far is winning some of its battles. Canaway throws it out wide. Nice leaping catch there by Sean Burris again, number 80. That's his 2nd catch of the night. And on 1st and 10, Burris is able to reel that one in, picks up 5 yards. Very valuable 5 yards right there. That makes it a manageable 2nd down. When I was talking to Coach Zabolis earlier, he said, yeah, we want to stay ahead of the chains and make our 2nd and 3rd down digestible plays. So far, it's working. 5:28 on the clock, 0-0 on the scoreboard. And Nashua North remains in huddle as Canaway trots out again. 40-second clock from play to play, and it looks like Nashua North is content to use as much of that 40 seconds as possible. Trips right, nearest the camera here. And they throw it out to Sase. Gathered in quickly, but he rolls off 2 tackles, and he makes something out of nothing. He gets just inside the 20-yard line. Looks like about a 1-yard gain. We'll wait till the fellows in black and white make the call, but there is a flag down, 4:55 with the clock stopped as the refs huddle up and discuss it. Jack Krulikowski lost himself a shoe, number 5 right there, waiting for him to make an impact. He is a terrific player. And here comes the call from our ref. That is a personal foul on the Bedford Bulldogs. Somebody lost a helmet. My deduction is then that somebody ripped his helmet off, whether by face mask or otherwise. That is a no-no, and the refs picked that one up. Personal foul is going to be a 15-yard penalty. And they're walking it back, so they're splitting the difference, half the distance. So it's normally a 15-yard penalty, but when you're inside a certain yard line, you do some ratios there, and it's half the distance. And that'll be a first down for the Titans at 4:55 in the first quarter. And they find themselves the nose of the football on the Bedford Bulldogs 9-yard line. Canaway in that shotgun again, flanked by his running backs, and like an H-back. Hands off to Smith. Smith goes right side and is swallowed up by a good gang tackle there. Brody Helton is in on the mix, and number 4, Noah Casamasino. We've called his name twice tonight. No gain for Smith, or maybe just a moderate gain. In any event, it is 2nd and goal, 4:25 on the clock now. Smith comes off the field, and in comes Sisse with those electric Dayglow green shoes. And here comes Canaway back in. He's got the play from coach. Barks it out to his huddle, and they clap. They look eager to get going. They want that ball snapped and then get into their matchups. Bedford's D flexes to suit, and Canaway moves out his end. That's Krulikowski again. He is a good player, multi-talented athlete. And we were winding down on the play clock there, and looks like Nashua North wisely took a timeout. They used almost every bit of that 40-second clock, but that'll get the Titans a break. And they'll talk it over as they still have 2nd and goal when we come back. But in the meantime, as I said, Bedford is number 1 in the preseason power poll. Nashua North is number 6. Of course, last year, Bedford Bulldogs just ran the table. They were whipping people left and right. And, you know, they had a 49-6 win in the quarterfinals over a good Salem team. And then they blanked Portsmouth Oyster River in the semis. And then they, for the 2nd year in a row, they did it to Londonderry. Always a talented team is Londonderry. So consequently, you get number 1 to preseason poll no matter what, and you prove it until you can't. But again, they lost 7 fellas from their first team who made first team all New Hampshire last year. That's tough. That is very tough. Okay, we're back on the field. It's 2nd down and goal for the Nashua North fellas in blue. 3:46 on the clock. Canaway takes a snap and rolls to his left on a little waggle there, and he gets tripped up. Really, really great shoelace tackle by Brennan Krause from behind. And it looked like Canaway had an acre of room, and then Krause got to his heels and got him down on the turf and got him into a 3rd down and goal position. So there was no gain, maybe a 2-inch loss at that point. And we're at 3:15 in the first quarter. 0-0 on the clock. The lights are on here at Stellos Stadium. Again, I'm Rich McDonough for Nashua ETV. Really, really happy to be back for another fall football season. All right, here we go. Big time play right here. Bedford has bristled as Nashua North got inside the 10-yard line and had a 1st and goal. Big high snap. Sisse takes it in the back, makes one man miss, slips a tackle, and he gets run down. Well done by Noah Casamasino to force him to the outside, and then he had help underneath from Brody Helton, and that's a pretty dynamic duo. And that tackle forces Sisse out of bounds, and that forces a 4th down. Canaway comes off the field, and we would expect that Nashua North is going to do a field goal attempt. In fact, here comes a special teams unit, and we're at 2:20 and counting, 0-0, but now the Titans have a chance to strike and get on the scoreboard first. And Raposo comes in to kick. Holder there is going to be Dylan Noble. All right, let's see what Marco Raposo's got in the boot. 2 minutes even on the clock as they wait for the snap. Snap is good, and it's hooked wide left. Raposo just got his toe kind of crookedly around the outside of the ball. So at 1:50, after a missed field goal in the first quarter, after a heck of a long drive, we are talking about a 10-minute, 10-second drive, including the kickoff for Nashua North. So they did exactly what Coach wanted them to do. They held the ball, they made yards, they chewed the clock, then they couldn't get the 3 points at the end because Bedford stonewalled them on first, second down, and third down on goal 3 times in a row, bringing up that 4th down and a kick. So after that turnover, after failed kick, Bedford will have its first down of the night and first down of the season. And the refs get the kicking ball. You get usually a specialty kicking ball that's particular to kickers and the incredible science that they have. And we start with the ball at the 20-yard line, 1:50 in the first quarter, 0-0 on our scoreboard here at Mata Field at Stellos Stadium. All right, Jack May is in the background. Hands off to Helton. That's what you want to do. I mean, he was first team All-State as a sophomore, and he skewered team after team after team, running wild, and does the same thing to start his 2024 campaign. Expect him to be making a lot of noise for Player of the Year credentials as we move through September and October. Excellent player, excellent athlete, and he's got the heart of a champion. And he has a 33-yard gain on first down and gets into Titan territory. Bedford ball at the 47-yard line, 1st down and 10. Quick timeout on the field to make sure they got the time set right. Stadium clock is showing 1:33 in the first quarter. Again, Nashua North took that opening kickoff, great run back by Kobe Perry, and then they marched all the way down inside the 10-yard line of the Bulldogs, only to miss a relatively short field goal. Hooked wide left, but Coach Zabolis has to take a lot of good mojo out of that drive. They managed the ball well, they didn't put it in danger, and they were able to win the lineup battle on the line of scrimmage many times until Bedford stiffened up and forced that missed field goal. All right, here we go. Clock issues are all set. It's 1:41 on the clock. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs on the 47-yard line of the Titans. May scrambles to his left, briefly had a receiver open downfield, and that window closed very rapidly. Good defense out there by Jaden Bellio, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10 at the 47-yard line. Incomplete pass, obviously no gain. Clock stops briefly at 1:36 after a 5-second play. Gone is Luke Soden at the wide receiver position, so that's going to put a big premium on what Bennett Matthews, who wears number 3, can do. They're going to move him all over the field. He's out there in the flats right now, and a great tackle from behind by none other than Darius Smith, and his fellow All-Stater Brody Helton gets run down from behind. That doesn't happen very often. And again, when I talked to Coach Zabolis, I said, how do you limit this guy? He is a human bowling ball. And his response was, we got to tackle him. If we get hands on him, arms on him, we got to hang on for dear life. And it's exactly what Darius Smith just did. He himself is a big fella. He's 6 foot, 215, going up against a similar size man in Brody Helton. 3rd down and 10 at the 47-yard line. May takes a deep snap, unloads a pass, beautiful arcing pass, nice tight spiral, and it finds his way over to Peter Suazo, number 19, who went up and got it, took the hit, and that was an 11-yard gain. That's good enough to move the chains as we're underneath a minute. We're at 41 seconds, and the clock is stopped briefly as the fellows in black and white look to get things set, and we're rolling clock. 40-second clock starts, which is about the same time as the stadium game clock. Good throw right there by Jack May. 6'1", 180. Good long, lean quarterback can see a lot of that field and just proved his worth right there. Here comes a blitz from the safety, nothing doing there. Helton goes up the middle, kind of left side there, and he picks up a few yards on 1st down and 10. And that's going to wind us under 10 seconds, folks. And that'll probably wind us out of the first period. Again, no score. We got the 2-time defending champs with the ball and driving as we wind up the first quarter, and we are scoreless. So for Nashua ETV, it's been a good competitive first quarter. No score, but there's plenty coming. And while the fellas are taking their time out, we're going to do the same. Again, this is Rich McDonough. I'll see you on the other side of the break, folks. Glad you're with us. All right, folks, Rich McDonough here for Nashua ETV. Back with you after a break. Fellas have changed ends. We have fresh 12 minutes on the clock here at Mata Field, Stellos Stadium, and 0-0 is our score. Going up the left side there is Brody Helton again, tackled once again by Smith, number 22. Helton was able to pick up 4 yards, it looks like, and that'll make it 3rd down and 3, excuse me. He picked up 5, so it's 3rd and 3. And they're at the 29-yard line. Again, we're in the second quarter here of a scoreless game so far between defending champs Bedford Bulldogs and the host Nashua North Titans. Had a great opening ceremony tonight featuring the cadet ROTC Corps from Nashua North. They did a great job in their chorus. Beautiful job in the national anthem. Thank you to those kids. And we got a hard count there, good bark there from Jack May, and we got encroachment on the Titans there. 11-11 stops the clock right there, and that'll walk off 5, and that'll give them, the Bulldogs, that'll result in a 1st down. And that'll move the chains. They're at the 24-yard lines, and finally looking to get, they're inside the 25 at long last after a long time of possession by Nashua North in the first quarter. Again, they took that opening kickoff at the 10-yard line, had a 43-yard return, and then marched it all the way down inside the 10, only to miss a field goal. But here we go, 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, and a little reverse counter play there, and that finds its way to Bennett Matthews, who slips a couple tackles, gets underneath, and goes down outside the left end, and he picks up a healthy chunk on 1st down. In fact, he picked up 5 yards, and that'll make it 2nd and 5. Nose of the football just shy of the 19-yard line at 10:30. Got our great crew here. Tom King will be back up in the booth at some point. Our executive director is Pete Johnson, DJ Petey Pete, camera Tim O'Neill, and we got Dan Young. Brody Helton goes outside. He is rumbling and bumbling, finds his way all the way into the end zone, zigging, zagging, and he strikes first, and the Bedford Bulldogs strike first in 2024. They throw 6 on the board on the strength of a 19-yard touchdown run from Brody Helton. Great juke as you see him, and then he slips. Mr. Cutback, he's a big man, solid. Like I said, he's built like a human bowling ball, but he has very high quality moves. Great cutback and the jab step, and allows him to evade people with speed and maneuvering, but then he can bowl you over. And here comes the PAT. That is successful by Zach Petrie. And at 10:18, folks, it is finally somebody got on the board, and it's the visiting Bedford Bulldogs, and they're up 7-0. Pretty darn good drive. Featured a lot of Brody Helton, as we kind of anticipated. I mean, when you got a kid who's that good a ball player, you get him the rock, and taking that rock, he certainly did. Again, he had the opening run on that drive in the first quarter, right near the end of the first quarter, and he took it from the 20 all the way to the Titans' 47-yard line. His 33-yard scamper really set the tone, and then he finishes off. He bookends it with a 19-yard scamper into the end zone here at Stellos Stadium. Again, Bedford lost a lot of talent and a lot of senior leadership from last year's squad. But I was reading an article. Somebody made a really good point. Are we rebuilding or are we reloading? And some teams rebuild. It might have been Joe Marcellina, my buddy Joe, NH High School Sports. Are we rebuilding or are we reloading? And with Bedford's feeder and all the DNA and the presence of their coaches, they are reloading. All right, taking the kickoff there was Dylan Noble, and he weaves his way through it. Gets himself a nice, looked like about an 11-yard return. And at 10:18, Titans now down 7-0, get their second offensive position, but they're in great field position. Great field position at the 40-yard line. His knee hit earlier than we thought out there. But nevertheless, it's 1st and 10 for the Titans. And my buddy Tom King has emerged from field duty and rejoined us here in the booth. What did you think of that first quarter there, TK?
Well, I love the way North held the ball and had a couple breaks where they got, be able to control the clock and have the ball for over 9 minutes. The one thing I didn't like was the 4th down going for the field goal. And the reason is, if they didn't make it on 4th and goal, Bedford would have had the ball inside the 5 instead of out at the 20.
Yeah.
So I think that was that was a major factor. And of course, Helton is the real deal. There's no doubt about it.
He's fantastic. And I was just telling the folks, his lacrosse background for sure. He is, in addition to being a big, strong, solidly built young man, he has cutbacks galore.
Right.
That's a heck of a pack. I mean, I grew up under the John Riggins era, and I see a little of that there. That's a compliment, folks.
He cut back on the touchdown run, and just knocked over anybody that was in his way.
Or falls down for an extra 3 yards.
Riggins did, yeah, exactly.
Riggo was unbelievable. All right, we got 2nd down and 6. Fake to Smith. They throw it out to Sase. He takes it in the flats, gets through a tackle, a flying tackle attempt by Peter Suazo, who made a beautiful one earlier.
That was a great move by Canaway. I don't think we would have seen that from him last year, as he just dumps the ball right to Sase, who's got some speed, and Canaway in trouble probably would have just last year curled up and crumbled with the ball or tried to run it.
Maturity.
This time he tried to get it out over to Sase. They know they have speed in Sase, and that's an ability
but that
for
little
them.
fake inside to Smith had all eyes on him, and that sprung Sase, who's very quick, very shifty. And the coach, as I said, Tom, earlier, Coach Zabolis really wanted to get Sase active tonight.
And they've got him active. There's no question about it. They'll use him a lot in this game. And Smith, of course, running the ball.
And a great block by Sase.
And as an extra push out of bounds, I don't see a flag. So,
well, Smith, it reminds me. Sometimes you think of Christian Okoye. You don't dare tackle the guy.
I'm looking at him. He looks smaller in a football uniform this year. I don't know why. I don't know if he's lost weight or not. I'm not sure. He is a chef, by the way.
He is.
He is an accomplished cook.
Well, he's at his own training table then.
He cooks for the family.
All right.
And I was supposed to get something last year. I'm still waiting for it.
All right, after the 9-yard pickup on 1st, Nashua North is at the 40-yard line of the Bulldogs with a short 2nd and 1. It's about, I'd say, 30 inches.
That's where I take a chance to throw it. Nope.
And you got it. There's a fake. It was a nice ball movement. Really good ball fake by Canaway, and then he throws to the flats.
He's much better at that, and that was almost a lateral. I think if Sase had dropped that, there would have been
fair game.
There would have been, it would have been a live ball. It was a great catch, and it's a 1st down. So.
Well, we've got active replay here tonight, but not for that purpose. But that does. Sase picks that up on that nice little misdirection there, and nice flare pass out. And Sase does the rest, slips a couple tackles. As we're seeing, that's his MO. I mean, he is a very slippery, shifty guy. All right, 1st and 10 for the Titans at the 36-yard line. 7:45 on the clock in the 2nd quarter. Titans are down 7-0, but looking to march the ball downfield one more time. They did miss that field goal after their first long haul.
Yeah, and I got another comment about that series after this play.
All right, no doubt. Oh, wrapping up in traffic. Caleb Smith gets wrapped up hard.
Yep.
And it's a good tackle right there by Jacob Sheff. We've called Sheff's number a few times.
But to say on that 3rd and goal run, I have it on camera, they got away with a face mask penalty. They had it right on the mask, or at least were touching it, which you're not allowed to do. So,
looking forward to that highlight. All right, on that run on first down, they lost about 1.5 yards, did the Titans, and call it a long 11 or 12 officially on the scoreboard. And we're under 7 minutes in the first half and second quarter here. And Nashua North looking to get the goose egg off its side of the scoreboard.
the one thing they don't seem to have in their arsenal is the pass downfield. They haven't used it at all tonight.
We'll see. Here we got trips left. Somebody goes short. A little bit of a smash by the outside fellas. Good job chasing down a
good job by Canaway to throw the ball out of bounds. He's outside the pocket. He can get away with that. Throws it out of bounds. He's got to be careful with the football, though. Once he gets that ball in one hand, he's got to make sure there's no one behind him to strip it.
And Brennan Krause was on his. Brennan Krause made that heel tackle earlier when we saw him in the first quarter that prevented Canaway from probably getting real close, if not into the end zone. And he was breathing down his neck one more time. Canaway, as you said, smartly tosses that ball out of bounds and preserves yardage.
It saves a loss.
He was going to lose about 4 or 5 yards. All right, that brings up 3rd down and 12, folks.
You got to think this is 2-down territory for Nashua North here at the 38.
If only to chew clock.
Yeah, well, they did a good job of that in the first quarter.
They did.
But came away empty, which is really tough to take. There's
That's a
pass
good pass down the slot.
Just shy of the first down by about 2 yards. They'll have to go for it here.
Yeah, Sean Burris, number 80, has shown himself to be an excellent target for Canaway. He has really long arms, and that was a beautiful, accurate pass. But Burris, to his credit, he sat down in between coverage there, Tom, and that's a nice instinctual and well-coached move right there. But Canaway got him the ball. He hauls it in.
So
and
it's
that
going
brings
to be
up 4th and 3.
Yeah, 4th and a short 3, long 2. Yep, 4th and 3.
And we are at 5:45, folks. The clock continues to run.
Let's see if they decide what to do. They had a lot of issues inside in their red zone offense. When they had to take that timeout during that series inside the goal, inside the area. There's a quick out.
And he got there early.
Yep.
Yeah, he did hit him from behind.
Yep.
Peter Suazo got there too early. And Burris,
break.
Again, another nice job by Burris. He sat down and he stayed square.
Pass interference in high school football is a 15-yard penalty. It's not at the spot of the foul. 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. Have to remember that.
As my buddy Jason Roby up here, Coach Roby just said, can't play the ball through the man. That's going to draw a flag just about every time. And,
basically.
And you had one of the zebras was right 4 yards away. He's not going to miss that call.
Well, the 29 should
that'll be
around,
first down
should be
after
around the 15 or 16. Let's see.
They'll go
the
half
19,
the distance. Half the distance because they're inside the 30. We had that in the first quarter. You got to get out your pro rata math calculator. I used to be good at math when I was a bartender, not anymore. All right, 1st down and 10 for the Titans. Just a hair outside the 19-yard line of the Bedford Bulldogs, trailing 7-0 at the 5:29
North
mark.
has got to come away with points here, Rich. Bedford is talented enough where you give them momentum. That's going to be tough.
And always give the ball to Darius Smith. And he's gang tackled, and he will not go down.
No, he won't.
That was a man-sized run, folks. And again, there's your Riggins analogy. That was one of the harder fought 6 yards I've ever seen.
Exactly. I'm writing down 6 yards.
Second and 4.
It seemed like 16.
Yeah. Well, it took 16 people to tackle
No
him.
huddle. They operate very quickly out of no huddle.
Yeah, which is kind of their trademark.
Well,
But they didn't want that tonight.
No,
they want to chew.
Somebody made a comment on the sidelines and saying, "Wait a minute, they're doing something they haven't done in a while." Huddle.
And I talked to Chad Zabolis, like I've said a few times, and he goes, "You probably see us doing a few things we don't typically do."
That should be first and goal.
And it looks like it is first and goal. And they were at the 9-yard line last time, and Bedford's D-line really straightened up, stood tall, and they held them to 3 in a field goal attempt, which went wide left.
Well, we were here before, right? We've seen this act before. They were inside the 8-yard line, first and goal, came away empty. Let's see what they do here.
All right, we're under 5 minutes. We're at 4:45, in fact. 7-0 defending champ Bedford Bulldogs up top on the Titans, but the Titans have first and goal for the second time of the night.
Is wide.
And Smith, and I'll tell you what, Helton.
They see that's the problem, is they're going to be looking for Smith. See, I think that their issues on that red zone offense before was they just needed to get the ball outside to Sisse and let him take advantage of that space.
He's showing himself to be a weapon. Now they've got Brody Helton saw that play
a
year before it happened.
Yeah, they saw it, but they knew it. They knew it was going to happen because they've already saw it down here on first and goal.
Right.
So no gain for Smith.
Same philosophy. You can see Bulldogs are just hanging on. If you get your arms around a Darius Smith or Brody Helton, you better hang on. All right, second and goal from the 9-yard line.
Sisse is the setback behind the quarterback.
Fake to Sisse, and Canaway rolls right. Good blocking outside. Follows his block. He tries to throw one to the near side, the far side of near pylon. Was looking for Smith, but can't get that one to drop in, and that'll bring up third down and goal on the 9.
You know, he was a good fake, but here's the problem with that play. If you're going to fake and you're going to roll out right, a receiver has got to be rolling with you. And there was no one in that area to catch the ball. He would have been wide open.
And had he curled back a yard, at least they're getting 4 yard lines.
If you are going to roll right, you've got to have some of your offensive players roll right ahead of you.
Right, and Ian Blake, number 54, you cannot possibly hold a block that long.
No, you can't, but that's not the issue. Is you've got to have somebody in the open space.
Right.
There was open space there and not a single blue jersey.
All right, here we go. Third and goal on the 9-yard line. Canaway drops back, finds himself short of Krulikowski, number 5. He can't hang on. It was behind him slightly. And here we go again, Tom. We are fourth down inside the 10.
I don't go for a field goal here. I go for the touchdown. We'll see what they're going to do. They're changing personnel, so I guess they are going to try another field goal.
Yep, here comes number 37. That's Raposo again.
You've got to figure it's 3:31 to play in the half. And if Bedford had to take the ball inside the 10, it would be a long, they'd have a tough time getting down there in time.
Right.
So high school offenses don't move that fast.
Almost exactly the same situation, except he was on the right hash last time.
Yep.
He's a right-footed kicker. He got it hooked
That one's
last
good,
time.
I think.
And that one was perfect. That was clean. His first kick, Tom, I was watching his foot. It was completely angled, and consequently, much like when you're on the golf course, if your club is all the way closed so tight that it's not going where you want it to go. But Raposo connects at 3:26 in the second period in our first half here at Mata Field, and narrows that lead to 7-3.
Yeah, and that's good. You know, I mean, they had to come away with some points.
And another good drive.
And a good drive against a very good defense. They've moved the ball. They're going to win the yardage battle, but they need to win the battle on the scoreboard. That's what you need.
Absolutely. But again, Chad Zabolis has got to be pleased. His game plan is being executed very well. Yeah, they couldn't keep Brody out. You're not going to keep him out. And he admitted that. You can't tamp him down fully. You can limit him.
Exactly.
And they're doing the best they can.
Right.
All right, so we're at 7-3 as the Titans are about to kick off. And do it all, human Swiss Army knife, Darius Smith lines up for the boot. He's a good lineman, really good lineman, both sides of the ball. He can run. He can score. He's a team leader, and he kicks, Tom. It's pretty impressive. A really good crowd here tonight, Tom. All right,
it is
folks.
a good crowd. It's one of the better opening night crowds.
All right, that one
catches. Not a good
yeah, he
kick.
catches it strangely.
Yeah,
and it goes
really
kind of
did.
straight up.
The
and you
tee-
see how fast it was knuckling?
The tee kind of traveled as well. You know, it just knuckled up. So it's good field position for Bedford.
I tried my foot at
See,
kicking
Smith
once,
is
Tom.
a good punter. I've never seen him place kick. So he can
It's
punt.
hard. Yep.
And so my guess is they'll mix and match and try to keep him punting, but they may fool around with that spot.
There you
But
go.
Bedford's got good field position with 3:21 to play, and they've only got 59 yards, and you've got to watch out for
Right,
number 26, Mr. Helton.
All right, the Bulldogs lace it up at the 41-yard line, up 7-3. This typically we'd see them up 17-3 in the first 10 minutes last fall, Tom, but not this year. Brody Helton goes left side, eats up some serious yardage.
Last year was 45-0. So
yeah, right.
They were in two different levels. Well, Bedford was on a different level than anybody.
Well, my son's BG team were on the bad end of a 40-some-odd-3 blowout.
Yes, yeah.
That was tough.
That was opening night last year.
Don't remind me.
Yep.
All right, well, Helton picks up 6 on first, and that's 2nd and 4 at the 47-yard line. 3:13 on the clock. Clock is stopped after it ran out of bounds. And give it to Helton again. Good strategy, and he absolutely bowls over Dylan Noble. But Dylan Noble hung on. So many times when we see Brody Helton on one defensive back,
let's put it this way.
He rolls over them.
If Noble didn't hold on, Helton would have gone all the way.
He would have held on to a touchdown ball.
Yeah, exactly. No doubt about it.
Nevertheless, he moves the chains after a real healthy gain. He picked up 10 yards, and that makes it 1st down and 10.
And they're already at the 43 with 3 minutes left to play in the half.
Yeah, and they won't be satisfied. Not at all. They give it to Helton, a deep pitch. Winds himself back. Good job coming up in support by Jack Krulikowski. No surprise there. He is a ferocious linebacker. But I believe, Tom, right now, they are really missing the heart and energy of Luke Peters.
Yeah. I think they're missing that more on offense.
I know, but
I think Peters is better against the pass than he is the run. Maybe he can get in the backfield a little bit because he can blitz very well.
Right.
So, but you know, we'll see a different North team with Luke when he comes back.
Oh, no doubt. But they're missing his heart and his IQ.
But
anyway,
here's what I would do with Helton. Let's see what happens here.
All right, 2:15 and counting. Good. Nice job. Matthews comes up, and that's coming back to the ball. But
Matthews chose the wrong direction.
Yeah, he rolled wrong, and he knows it. You see him slapping his hands together.
Yep.
That brings up, we're at the 2-minute mark after that loss by Matthews. He should have rolled the other way. Water under the bridge. You can see this happen here. We're in replay here, Tom. And he flares up, and he goes inside, and he probably should have stayed to his
the other
left.
way, and that's what got him in trouble.
Yeah, he was trying to bounce laterally from sideline to sideline. Take what they give you. He had 4 more yards if he had just gone left. Okay, nevertheless, it's 1:33 on the clock and rolling. It is now 3rd down and 6 for the Bedford Bulldogs, up 7-3. And May hands off to Helton again, and he just steamrolls, absolutely steamrolls across and through a wall of blue. Smith was in there on the tackle again, but number 26, Helton for the Bedford Bulldogs, blew through his defenders and dragged everybody with him and dragged everybody into another Bedford Bulldog.
The thing is with
down.
Helton is he eventually breaks one. But now the clock is not his friend. It's 1:09 to play. It's 1st and 10 at the 31.
Sure.
And we are at a minute.
As big as he is, he's got wheels, and he can break this all the way anytime.
He's going to have to now.
Great pump fake
nice
by May.
rush on there, but he's wide open.
Wide open.
Wide open. A blown coverage and a touchdown.
Oh, May was hit by Darius Smith as he let
got
it go.
Off. Yep.
And he still got that ball off. And that adds 6 for the Bedford Bulldogs.
Well, here you're going to see it.
Yeah, it was Dustin Westcott.
We'll watch May get hit if we have the replay. No, not yet.
We may get that after the kick.
Yep. We'll run it at some point.
Yeah. Jack May, great job to get rid of that ball, but had anybody at all been in coverage, either short or even, that is a pick off.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, recover to the ball, but nobody was there. And we can look at just how open he was if we got that replay. Nevertheless, the kick's
Here it is
good.
right here.
Here we go.
So there's two things you want to look at. You want to look at the blitz by Smith. There it is, but still a flutter ball, and it's caught.
Yeah.
Wide open and into the end zone.
Yeah, and Westcott found himself a gift, knuckleball in the air.
In the air, and just had to wait for it. But the thing was, he was wide open, and if you're watching the ball, you should see the receiver and come over there. You had plenty of time. The ball was fluttering around forever.
That nobody rotated into the hole that Smith left with his blitz. You got to rotate over.
Yep.
And nobody did. He stayed on the slot receiver, and
the
that's
blitz
that.
allowed when you blitz, you got to fill it, and you got to fill that spot.
All right, and after the PAT is
but
good.
a linebacker wouldn't have covered on that play. That would have been a defensive back. So in the DBs in the secondary,
rotate your safety.
Yeah, in the secondary there was a mix-up, and you get the touchdown, and that is a tough play for Nashua North to stomach. It's 14-3.
All right, after a good PAT by Petrie, he comes back in to do the kicking honors at the 40-yard line, boots it down, a low rising kick, scoots all the way down, finds its way inside the 15-yard line where Nashua North scoops that up and runs it back outside. Pretty good run back of about 15 yards. And again, like he did before, that was Kobe Perry. He took the opening kickoff and tackle out there.
So now, Mr. McDonough.
Yes, sir.
You got 38.4 seconds left. I've seen high school coaches get greedy here. I don't think I would. I think I would go into the locker room because if you turn the ball over.
Quick strike.
Yep, that's the problem.
And Bedford is starting to feel it. They're starting
up
to get in rhythm.
14-3. You don't want to be down 21-3 going into the locker room. So
don't feed them dinner.
we'll check it. We'll check this out.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Titans. Now find themselves down 14-3. They got to do something, if anything, make it quick. They throw it out to Sase, and
Bedford,
he gets swarmed immediately by Casamasino.
Bedford, I'd be calling timeouts here.
Yeah, they get the ball back. They have two.
They let too much time go off the clock. Way too much time go off the clock. They should have called timeout immediately. You got to let your defensive captain know that. You've got to tell him, look, if we hold them after every play, call timeout. You know, now they have one left.
One left, and we're at the 31-second mark. It'll be 2nd down and 11, or 12 when they come back from the break. And again, what do? If you're Bedford, you probably attack hard, force the issue, try to create a turnover. Won't be able to really force a turnover on downs here because of lack of, you had 3 timeouts. They used that timeout early in the first quarter.
With 31 seconds left, if I'm North, I run the football. I get out of here.
Well, they got the right guy in the backfield to do it. All right, again, 31 seconds. Bedford's up 14-3 on the home hosting Titans. And we're at 2nd down and 12. Canaway takes a snap and does give it to Smith. Smith steamrolls himself all the way. He picks up 11 yards on 2nd and 12.
Well, they're in a situation in defense where they're not going to give up anything deep, so they've got some people back.
Yep.
So Smith, once he gets past the first line of defense, is able to get some open space and run.
And we're at the 10-second mark,
They're going to let that one mark down. He ends the half with an 11-yard gain, and that'll do it for the first half, Rich McDonough.
Granted,
there's one difference in the game. Okay. Bedford has Helton, North does not.
Right.
That's the difference.
That is the difference so far.
Yep.
And they are, like I said, they're starting to feel the mojo, the classic Bedford mojo.
Exactly.
All right. Nevertheless, Titans were able to move the ball. They've got to be glad about that, but they've got to do more of it, and they've got to hold.
They've got to score in the red zone.
All right, well, they're taking a break for halftime. We got some good halftime festivities coming up. Our crew will be back here after our break. Rich McDonough and Tom King for Nashua ETV.
That'll do it for the first half, everyone. 14-3 is your score in favor of the Bulldogs. We'll see you in the second half right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bedford High School Marching Band and Color Guard is proud to present their 2024 halftime show, The Grand Illusion, the music of Styx. The band is under the direction of Matthew Bruno and assistant director Tom Salyers. The color guard director is Maria Rosado and the drill designer is Elliot Frank. Drum majors are Ella Andre, Naomi Akirav, and Eric Fournier. Join us as we embark on a mystical journey where reality bends and dreams come alive. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bedford High School Marching Band and Color Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Bedford High School Marching Band and Color Guard. Now entering the field is the Nashua High School North Titans Marching Band under the direction of Kristen Olson. The assistant band director is Elizabeth Nault. Visual design is by Carrie Swift. The drill instructors are Elizabeth Nault and Kevin Swift. The drumline instructor is Liam Quinn. The Titans are directed by drum majors Eric McGinnis and Brian Wheeler. The drill master is Scarlett Elsperman. The Nashua North Marching Band presents its 2024 show, Big Blue Boogie, and includes Get on Your Feet, Jump in the Line, Safety Dance, and Shut Up and Dance. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Nashua North Titan Marching Band.
And welcome back, everybody, to the second half. I'm Tom King, along with Rich McDonough. 14-3 in favor of the Bulldogs here at Stellos Stadium. And Rich McDonough, it's pretty simple. Bedford's got Brody Helton, and Nashua North doesn't.
That's really the story of the game.
Yeah.
Nashua North executed its game plan. They ate up a lot of clock.
Yep.
They didn't have any diabolical explosive scoring that they let up.
But the two long drives they had,
They didn't convert.
They didn't convert. 3 points is all they got on a 26-yard field goal. But here's the thing, stat-wise, right? Numbers-wise, they were outgained by 137-86. Bedford rolled up 137 yards in just 2 possessions.
And wasn't about 90 of that Helton?
Yeah, pretty much. Well,
Eight carries for
91 yards.
And a touchdown.
Right. Yep.
And then look, I mean, if you're Nashua North, you feel pretty darn good. You know, they held serve when they could. You got to convert. It showed that they can move the ball down the field.
Right.
They stalled at the 9-yard line both times.
Yep.
But at the same time, you can't have the status quo be where we are. If you're Nashua North, you've got to take some chances at some point, and that could be ugly. You have some explosive players, some mature players on Bedford who are going to be able to read that sort of thing. Right near the end of that first half, on that touchdown, Darius Smith did blitz from his side of the line.
He blitzes,
and he hit the quarterback.
A flutter ball that hung up there forever, and no one covered the receiver who was in the flat, wide open downfield. Caught it and had to go about 12 yards to get in the end
something
zone.
like that. Yeah, but no, there was no rotation to fill in that blitz there.
Exactly.
And but that's
and again the other thing too, when Canaway is rolling out on the drive that they settled for the field goal, he's rolling to his right, but there is no one in the space where he could throw the ball. Wide open space, no one rolled with him to catch the ball.
Rolled with him or curled back. And I tell you, on that offensive side of the ball, they really wish they had Luke Peters in the game. Arguably their best running back.
Sure.
Darius Smith's a load when he carries the ball. You've got Sisse, who is their slot back and kind of sometimes is a deep setback. But Luke Peters brings that hard, grinding, slashing style of running.
Right.
And then he can get into the slot himself. I mean, as we called him a couple times, he's a Swiss Army knife.
Sure.
And the tempo of the game is very different without him in the game. They're going to hope and pray that they get him back next weekend.
No doubt about it. They have to.
Well, we got a big delay during halftime. Both schools' marching bands performed, and Bedford marching band took the field first, and they had a 5-minute electrical issue. So we got going a bit later than we were, but we're welcome back to Stellos Stadium here. Rich McDonough and Tom King. First broadcast of the football season in 2024. As we said, Nashua North got the opening kickoff, went all the way downfield, had a good kickoff return, but then got inside the 10-yard line and stalled, missed a field goal. Bedford got its turn and went all the way down the field, scoring in the second quarter on a Brody Helton 19-yard run. Nashua North tried to return the favor. Another long marching drive, reeled off a ton of time, but it stalled again on the 9-yard line. They got a 3-point try, successful this time. They hooked the first one, and they got their 3 points on that. That was about 3:26 left in the second quarter. And here we got a little pooch kick and a good, wise, sensible, fair catch.
That is a great catch.
Dustin Westcott.
And now you give Bedford a short field again.
And this is not going to be in the playbook or in the scorebook here, but everybody was patting Dustin Westcott on the back of the helmet because that is a cerebral play.
Well, you know what? That's something that they already know about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That is something that they have to already know about.
That and its pedigree and maturity from a Bedford team who's been to the mountaintop twice in the last 2 seasons. All right, 11:58 on the clock. First play of the second half. It's Bedford 14, the Titans 3. Here goes a nice cutback by Brody Helton. Tries to get outside and does, but a pretty darn good tackle from behind there by Liveres. And that saves, I think that saves a lot of yardage for Bedford. Helton was looking at green all the way down.
Was looking to turn the corner, but there wasn't a lot of room there. But I'll tell you what, Brody Helton, any other back would have made about a loss of 1 or 2. Instead, Brody Helton for Bedford gets 3 yards.
Again,
and he gets out to the 50.
The John Riggins comparison. John Riggins, I watched him all through my youth. Whenever he fell down, he gained 3 yards.
As a Giants fan, Rich,
I know you were.
I was not in favor of. I liked him better when he was
Oh,
a
look at
Jet.
that leaping Brody
move.
Helton here. He was about to get stopped at the 45. He goes vertical, and a flag has been thrown. Not sure what that was. We'll wait for the
Do you know
call.
how many people don't know that John Riggins was a New York Jet, actually?
Not enough.
Isn't that incredible?
And he had the mohawk.
Isn't that incredible?
And a lot of people don't know that he was the Kansas high school 100 champion.
Wow, was he really?
Yes, he was.
For all that beef.
All that beef. Well, I'll tell you, speaking of all that beef, Brody Helton went vertical in a hurry, and he leaps over his would-be tackler. And, boy, the kid's got all kinds of stuff in his game here, but we're stalled at 11:07.
There's got to be an injury. There is an injury over there as the trainer is going across the field. So I don't know where the injury occurred. I don't know whether it's a player or a fan, but they rushed over there. And Bedford is huddling up near their sideline. They're moving back as there was a penalty on that play. Holding against Bedford. So it's at the spot of the foul, 10 yards.
Yep.
So back to the 40.
So it looks like it was Brody Helton who got hurt. You wonder whether he stretched something out or caught a cleat on the jersey.
That is not good for Bedford, and it is an equalizer, Rich McDonough.
Our executive director, Pete Johnson, said he did it when he landed. Couldn't see through all the trees down there. We'll get as much information as we can. It's 11:07, and that is a major
blow.
Yeah.
That's 91 yards, actually 94 yards. He probably had
and a TD.
4 there and a TD out the window.
All right, so Jack May goes back. Nice, long, tight spiral. Going hard and trying to find the outstretched hands of Bennett Matthews. Can't quite get it there, and it sails and then rolls onto the turf.
Well, the one thing that Bedford has had
11:02.
over the last couple of years is just a great group of athletes. Matthews is one of them.
Exceptional athlete.
And he's got the speed and the burst. May has all day to throw. The rush was starting to come. That's a nice arm and wide open. He stretched out for
3 inches.
He stretched out for it. You know, if I'm Matthews, keep running. Keep running.
Yeah,
I think he would have caught up to it.
Good old Coach Roby in the booth here would have said, just keep running, get to the spot.
Exactly.
Keep those arms pumping. All right, nevertheless, it is 3rd and a mile.
3rd and 17 from the 40.
And here we go with the screen. They find that screen to Suazo. Suazo gets up to the 45-yard line, and he's rudely dumped down to the turf by Uveres.
Rudely hit, but you know what? Suazo again. I know the play calls for him to cut inside, but why cut inside where most of the bodies are? Go to the outside where you probably would have had more room.
There was an acre of room nearest our camera here.
Sure was.
Definitely manned tonight by Tim O'Neill. And joining us tonight is JoJo DeFossi, who is a Nashua North student learning how to handle the camera duties here at Stellos Stadium. Great to have her on board. All right, it's 4th and 12 at the 45-yard line. Back to punt.
First punt of the day of the night.
And it's Brody Helton doing the punting, and he is walking off the field pretty gingerly, Tom. He doesn't look very solid on that hurt leg, and he's checking that hurt leg.
It's his left leg.
Yep. And that So my belief is when
and
he
now
came,
he needs help getting off the
oh
field.
my goodness, that is tough.
He
and
is hobbling. No, you are not probably, now it could be a cramp. We don't know.
But he had that knee problem dogging him all spring in lacrosse. I believe he had a brace on it.
Yeah, it could be a cramp. We don't know. They're going to tend to him a little bit more and see.
Yeah, I did the broadcast with Nick Anastas at Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, the Bedford BG Epic double overtime game, and his knee was hurting then. I just wonder if it's not fully healed, Tom.
Well,
but nevertheless,
I had binoculars.
10 minutes even on the clock, Tom King, and it is first down for the Titans.
Deep in their own territory.
And don't forget, Brody Helton's also valuable player on defense. And here comes Darius Smith rumbling. Absolutely rumbling. Gets to just outside the 20 by a hair. 20 precisely, they rule it. And he picked up almost 5 yards. Make it 2nd and 4.
Now Smith is one of those backs, and you know him, you've seen him all through football, is that the more he gets the ball, the better he gets as the game goes on. He gets stronger as the game goes on.
Well, stronger as the game goes on. I'm watching Brody Helton across the way with he is smacking his hands on the turf.
Yeah, but you know what? They are looking at it. Looks like a cramp, the way that she is stretching him over across
He is
the
not
leg.
a happy camper.
No, he's not.
All right, 2nd down and 4 for the Titans, facing the Brody Helton free defense at the moment.
I wonder if it's not a cramp, if he aggravated it when he came out to
All right, here comes a pitch to Smith, and he's got Caleb Smith out in front of him. Nothing doing.
Nothing there.
Great job by Bedford to force the action and string that play out, and then coming up to make that tackle from behind. We have talked about him all night. Jacob Sheff, number 50. He's a senior. He's 6'20", 220, and brings a wallop. But he also is a terrific in pursuit, Tom.
3rd and 3 at the 19. Smith trying to go to the outside.
Hey, he lost a yard and a half.
Yeah.
It's 3rd and 5, they call it. So it's 3rd down and 5 at the 19 now. Just inside the 19, and we are at the 8:20 mark here in the 3rd quarter.
3 receivers
Titans are trailing.
at the top, 3 receivers at the top of your screen. And no one got it.
No one's there. Dylan Noble went long, and it looked like a miscommunication.
Yeah,
he might have had to sit down on that route.
There is definitely a disconnect between Canaway and the receivers. There is something wrong there where they weren't looking around, turning their heads to be able to catch the ball.
Because he threw to a spot which was smack dab on the 30-yard
no doubt
line.
about it, and that's what he's supposed to do.
And Dylan Noble was at the 37, so something went wrong. Okay, they'll try to figure that out on the sidelines. Back to punt. Doing the punting duties, Darius Smith handles so many of the duties. He's back there again, 8:14 on the clock. And the Titans, after going 3 and out, are down 14-3 and punting. We got a report in the 2nd quarter. It's Portsmouth and 7 win a cut at
very
3.
returnable.
That's a good tackle out there in coverage.
You had to make a good tackle because a line drive kick doesn't give your defense time to get down there, and he's able to run. If he shakes the first tackle, Rich McDonough, he's going to get about 20 yards on that return.
Well, and more power to Jaden Billio, who is not the biggest player on the field, but boy, he's scrappy player, and he hung on tight and brought his guy down. All right.
So now we will get a look at the Bedford offense without Brody Helton.
Sans Helton. 8:05 on the clock. With that long punt need, Bedford has great field position. They're at the 48-yard line of the Titans with a 1st and 10. But yeah, we're going to see what happens without number 26 in the lineup. It looks to me on the far side like he's up and walking around, and he's snapping his chin strap on.
Cramp.
So we'll see what happens.
I bet it looked like it was a cramp. The way the trainer was treating him looked like
and
a cramp.
he's jumping up and down, looking like he's coming right back.
Yeah.
All right, 1st and 10 for the defending champs. Inside handoff underneath. That goes to Matthews, great athlete, and you can see why. Look at the shifty, and then he's got a beautiful acceleration and really, we'll call it the first step as he turned north.
Just a great run by Matthews.
Really
just
was.
to keep the legs moving and just to, frustrate Nashua North a little bit more than Helton's out of the game, and they still have a running back that's able to gain good yardage.
Another thing you won't see in the record book, other than he got a 6-yard run, but that was a superb 6-yard run, and that means a lot to a team when they're looking for more help.
Yeah, and when their best back is out.
And he's in. Brody Helton is back in, and he's to May's left side there. 2nd down and 4, 7:20 on the clock, 14-3 lead for the Bulldogs. And there's your cutback by Helton.
Look at the difference.
And
look at the difference.
Wow.
Here he goes. He's gone. Let's see.
Brody Helton shedding tacklers, beating people, even with the bad leg.
Could not stay in bounds. Could not balance. Could not do the ballet act down the field. Boy, is this kid good or what?
Well, he won't be going to Juilliard dance school, but he sure can run the football, and he showed that he is a warrior. And he doesn't look real comfortable, Tom. Yeah, he's not right, but he's going to give it all.
Yeah, because he would have gone a little bit faster on that run. And he's going to come out of the game.
But that was a 32-yard run on that gimpy leg. But I got to say, Tom, given the fact that he came in for that one play, ran it 32 yards. That is a very meaningful play for Bedford Bulldogs.
Well, it is, because the way North has played offense tonight in terms of not being able to score, they would be in deep trouble if they're down 21-3. They're down 14-3 here. This is a must stop with 7:07 to play in the third quarter for Nashua North.
Yeah, even holding them to a field goal keeps it within 2 scores. You let them in a touchdown. Nashua North has been unable to convert in the red zone.
There's the hit. Nope.
May sheds it. He sees,
wide open,
finds his way all the way to the back of the end zone. Beautiful vision there. Finds Sawazo over everybody.
I'll tell you what.
And that was Jack May making a beautiful play.
I'll tell you what. This kid, this quarterback, he's good. He's got a gun for an arm, but he's got poise. Watch here.
He's
Watch the blitz.
Look at his long arms.
Watch the blitz. Here it is. Defender, and he sidesteps him and sheds him and finds a man wide open. A lot of high school quarterbacks.
And he keeps his eyes downfield, Tom.
A lot of quarterbacks then would have crumbled, and he didn't do it.
I saw one Mike McDonough do that a lot.
Yeah.
All right, in to make the take the extra point.
Who's that? I don't remember him. Once they're gone, they're out of memory for me.
Petrie makes his PAT successful, and at the 7-minute even mark, it is now the defending champ Bedford Bulldogs 21 and the hometown North Titans 3.
That is a good quarterback with an arm and with vision, good field vision. And because if you're just joining us, what he did earlier in the game was he got blitzed by a linebacker and hit and threw a ball still to an open receiver. And that resulted in a touchdown that made it 14-3, or actually 14-0 at the time.
Right.
So, this is a good player. And they graduated a good quarterback, and they got another one right back here to start the season this year.
Well, you and I were just discussing with the folks at home that this was a must-stop. Nothing close. I mean, it took seconds to build themselves a 3-score lead, and that's a deep hole for this Titans team. Nevertheless, we are going to kick it off. And it's Petrie in to do those duties.
Good kickoff.
He boots it all the way down. Both Nashua players tried to field it. It squirts loose. And picking it up one more time, as he has before, is Kobe Perry.
And the miss on that catch is going to result in another situation where North has bad field position.
Almost identical to their last 3-and-out drive. They certainly don't want another one. 6:51 on the clock. Rich McDonough here with Tom King for Nashua ETV. And our inaugural 2024 broadcast of NHIAA football.
Yeah, we got a few more to go, right?
Should be a lot of fun.
Definitely. Tomorrow night here on ETV, it'll be Nashua South against Bishop Girton. John Collins will be joining me for that one.
I'll be in the booth doing the PA work. Could be my last hurrah for Bishop Girton, PA.
Do they know that?
I don't know. But probably be one and done for this year. I love doing it, though. All right, a little bit interior screen there. Can't make that happen.
Right.
Canaway saw a wall of white approaching him rapidly, and that one flutters to the turf, and that makes it 2nd down and 10 at the 16-yard line. I think what you need to do if you're Nashua North, because Bedford is always primed for Smith to get the ball on 1st down for a carry.
play action and then try to throw the ball downfield and get that offense in gear.
And once again, Tom, Brody Helton is not on defense right now. He's hurting, and he's on the bench. He's still talking to the trainer, and they got to do something with him absent. And they try to set up a sideline pass that falls incomplete. He was looking for at least Roy Cortez.
We praised Canaway for his ability to throw on the run and make split-second decisions. And he did just that there, but the problem is he ran out of real estate. No room on that sideline. He couldn't follow through. No, you've got to make that catch. I mean, you've got to make that pass right where the receiver can catch it and go right out of bounds.
Well, almost a mirror image, other than Darius Smith, who picked up those rumbling 6 yards on their last possession. They're looking at 3 and out again, and they're looking certainly at 3rd and 10. 6:35 on the clock after that incomplete pass. And down 21-3 are the Titans. This time they do hand off to Smith. He is gang tackled as he tries to go up middle. He doesn't go down, but there's our friend number 57, Sheff again, Jacob Sheff. He's got to be involved in his 5th or 6th tackle.
Well, that's
early in the 3rd quarter.
That's a play where you're doing it safe, right, Rich McDonough? You're playing it safe there because you don't want to turn the ball over. The only problem is your punt will probably give Bedford good field position again. And they'll take advantage of it. But they won't have Helton probably this time.
I can't imagine it watching him.
See.
We'll look for the pink sock on the sidelines there, but he's kind of at the end of the bench. He doesn't look eager or prepared to go in right now. And he's given some yay rahs to his teammate Bennett Matthews over there, who's his running mate in lacrosse at the midfield and on the Tomahawks.
They were a tough tandem. Got them all the way to the finals.
Well, it's a pretty good boot. He crosses the 50, taken there by Matthews. Excuse me, he's in the field.
Matthews has got some room. Watch this.
Wow.
There he goes.
That cutback.
He's gone.
How about that shoulder fake, Tom King?
Almost gone.
And never giving up on it. Coming from behind was Dylan Noble.
Caught the ball at the 49-yard line, 48-yard line.
Yeah, so he had a 51-yard return. That's a huge, huge play for Bedford.
It sure is. Watch this play right here. As the punt, it's not a bad kick. You get it out to midfield.
Good job fielding it by Smith.
Matthews fields it. There's one man to beat right here, and he gets away.
Stiff arm to the helmet.
This tackle, player falls down, and now turns the corner, and there's no one in front of him. And there he goes. Good job by North to catch up to him. Someone caught him from behind.
I tell you, he stiff-armed a tackler coming at full speed while he was cutting and jab-stepping from his left foot and cutting to his right. That's impressive athleticism.
That is a 50-yard return on the punt, and it's first and goal from the 2.
5:17 on the clock, and Bedford knocking on the door once more after that long, excellent return by Matthews. And timeout on the field called by the Bulldogs.
Yep, they want to see what they have offensively, and
it's an interesting timeout.
It is, but there may have been a player or two that wasn't supposed to be on the field. I didn't count how many players were on the field, so they may have been maybe too many or not enough. Don't know.
Tom, what if anything do you look for in the game tomorrow night that'll be here?
Well, I'll tell you what.
I believe it's a 6 o'clock start.
Girton is a complete mystery. Right?
Total mystery.
Total mystery. I don't think you'll see the downfield passing. I think you're going to see an emphasis on the run game. I think that's what Anthony.
Well, they got A.J. Holmes is healthy again.
That's what Anthony Nalen wants to do. He wants to run and he wants to use his players. And don't forget Hunter Schmidt too.
Hudson Smith, terrific runner.
Hudson Smith, who was great at the end of last year. So I think you're going to see those two guys. You're going to try to force feed them the ball and see how that works against Nashua South. Nashua South. Classic example of a team that played a lot of sophomores last year. And when you play sophomores, all right, you look at the inexperience, but in football, you look at the physical difference, and there's a huge one. So they feel that they have a better physical team this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. Look for them to be a whole lot more improved.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a better team. I wouldn't be surprised if South pulls this one out. But
all right, hitting the reset after the timeout, 5:17 on the clock. They give it to Brody Helton, who comes in and just pile drives through the line into the end zone and rack up 6 more for the Bulldogs.
That's an effort just to get through that wall that was right there waiting for him at the goal line. So a touchdown for Brody Helton coming back in the game.
kid is sacrificing his body as he has been known to do.
Here he goes. He puts his head down. That's what did it for him. Puts his head down and just barrels into the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, he's a human wrecking ball. All right, Petrie in to do the PAT honors again. So far, he's been perfect, 3 for 3. As they set it down, they'll set it down at the 10-yard line, making it a 20-yard boot. And that's another quality kick. Lasers through the uprights. And at 5-12, Petrie's kick makes it 28-3 in favor of the defending champs.
Yep, this is another tough start against Bedford for Nashua North. You know?
And the more this game goes on, the more it feels like last year with Bedford just
45-0.
drubbing teams.
I did not do that game last year, and I'm probably glad I didn't.
Right. Well, tomorrow night's game ought to be fascinating. It'll be a big reveal for Bishop Girton, who lost some serious senior leadership.
But they've got the linemen up front, which is why
Huge line.
I think that they will probably go with the run game. In that sense, South is a team I'm really curious about to see how better they've improved. They liked the way they played at the end of last year. They won a game at the end that finished their season on a high note. But all those players are back. So at some point, that's got to help them. So they have a lot of sophomores on that team.
Well, everybody ought to tune in.
And a lot of juniors.
There's a lot of good stuff going on. That'll be great fun to watch tomorrow, Tom.
It will be.
Yep. All right, one more time. Kobe Perry picks it up, starts his run back out, and he's unable to get through a wall of white. And the Bedford Bulldogs stop him at the 24-yard line, where the Titans will take over 1st and 10.
Question is Nashua North now down 28-3? Do they work on something offensively, or do they go to the air with Canaway and try to get these points back in a hurry?
Well, you got to look it up. As Coach Roby said a while ago, for them, it's kind of a preseason game, right? You got to get Canaway some reps. You got to get him some blocking.
Right. Because don't forget, he didn't have a lot of reps in the preseason because he hadn't been medically cleared.
They could also use this as an opportunity for the receivers to clean up their route running. And we got a little middle screen.
Whoa, what a flip.
It's Roy Cortez.
That is a flip, and it's going to be a penalty.
A little verticality, huh?
Yeah, that's going to be a penalty. I believe it's going to be on 57.
Was it Sheff? Yeah, 57.
Jacob Schaff, yep.
He's had himself a terrific game as Sheff, but that one, not a hard flag. And here we get the replay. We'll show what happened with Sheff here.
All right,
so here's that little middle screen there.
Watch the tackle. Up.
Sheff winds him around.
Boom.
Yeah, you can't get the suplex. That worked for Andre the Giant.
Yeah, that doesn't
at
work
JFK
anymore.
Arena in Manchester.
I think even
but
in the
not here at Stellos.
I think even in the NFL they'd call a penalty on that.
I think you would, actually. Andre the Giant, great wrestler. Even better actor in Princess Bride. All right, but that will be a personal foul. And we'll get the whole call from the reffing crew and the mark-off. 4:56 left in the third.
It should go from the 24 out to the 39. Not more than that. Guess they were at the 26.
Yeah, it brings up the nose of the ball is just inside. Yep. Yeah, personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. And Sheff is out of the game right now. I don't know whether he's been removed.
I wonder. I didn't see any.
Yeah, I didn't see any ejection.
Any ejection signals. So
maybe he's getting a little bit of a talking to.
But a break for North as they finally get some field position.
Huge. And a nice throw out to the sidelines. It's a long throw. Sure, it only went 5 yards as the crow flies, Tom, but it's a 30-yard fling.
Now, Canaway's arm seems a little more accurate and a little stronger this year.
Well, I'm liking Sisse's abilities here. He can catch. He's very shifty. He's tough once he gets a little bit of some speed going. I think he'll do a lot of good things for Coach. And he's merely a sophomore. And he is out in a trips formation. He's the near guy, nearest the ball. And he drops off. And then nice job. Oh, that hit Sartor right in the mitts.
Right in the hands.
Yeah, he's upset with himself.
Well, he had to lean a little bit across his body and not used to making that kind of a grab, I would imagine.
But he had those goalie gloves with the W.
Yep.
Perfect shape.
Got to catch that.
Yep, that one's, you got to make a play for your QB at times and get some momentum, any kind of momentum, just to take that off the field. It's like, hey, we were able to move the ball not only on the ground in our first quarter, but through the air. All right, that brings up 3rd down and 7, 4:17 on the clock here at Stellos Stadium. This time they go back to giving it to Smith, who gets gang tackled up there.
Yeah, they go with the safe play with Smith up the middle, but I don't understand that. I think you've got to throw the ball.
I mean, you're far enough downfield where you can take a shot.
Smith has not had that kind of game where he's breaking into the secondary a lot.
All right, no gain. Ball stays at the 45-yard line. In come the special teams, as we're now under 3 minutes in the third, and Bedford's still up 28-7. That's a whole lot. 23, excuse me.
It's even worse.
All right, Smith is back to do the punting duties. And I can't see him from the side here, but that's got to be Bennett Matthews. He of that beautiful punt return last time. What an athlete Matthews is, and they're fortunate to have him back. I was talking about him going to prep school. That was the story. Nice running kick by Smith, able to knuckleball it down the field. Matthews picks it up at the 18.
He's got some room this way.
There's your same stiff arm on the same tackler, but this time Bolio is able to bring him down.
Yeah, there were a few more bodies around him, though. You know, he juked him the last time, but not this time.
You could see Jaden sitting there going, it's not happening.
The second
Lightning
time.
Ain't striking twice here, buddy. Good job by keeping him in front of you. All right, that brings us to 3:08 with the clock stop and the change of possession. And it's Bedford 28-3 over North.
Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, Nashua South, against Bishop Girton. Girton will be the home team. It's a big night for the Cardinals. They will have honoring their 2004 championship team, as well as
that's so exciting.
As well as their blackout against cancer night.
Pediatric Cancer Night, which has been a wonderful event.
It's been a big thing. There's always been a big crowd for it.
And they had that beautiful young girl from Amherst as their honorary captain last year. That was just awesome.
And the halftime, the presentation, the song, and the whole everything. It's been well done over the years, and tomorrow night will be another rendition of that.
What I love is Girton, the players who have had cancer hit their families they wear the special blackout jerseys
with
the fans and the names of, like, for example, my sister who beat stage 4 breast cancer, Mike McDonough, had Elizabeth on the back of the jersey. It's a tearjerker, let's face it.
It is.
And he gave her the jersey, Tom. And, of course, she wept. And she just tried to call me, and I'm sorry I can't answer you, my friend. All right, it's 2nd down and 12 after that loss. Helton this time gets it up the draw, and he's off to the races one more time.
Well, he looks pretty good.
Has the ball in his left hand, and he rumbles over the 40-yard line and down to the 33.
He looks pretty good to me now, Rich McDonough. How about you?
I think he doesn't look 100%, but his 90% is better than a lot of guys' 100%. What a huge, huge run. That was another chunk of, it looks like, 37 yards. And Brody Helton is comfortably into triple.
40 yards.
40-yard run, and he's comfortably into triple figures. And we're hitting the 2-minute mark in the third quarter, and Bedford looking to add more. The route is on, as they say. All right, May takes a
he's looking deep
snap. He gets good protection, throws into double coverage, but making an athletic leaping grab is Bennett Matthews, showing why he is one of the best athletes in the state.
My goodness.
Beautiful adjustment to the ball, splits his defenders, and comes down with it, and the ball didn't even bobble when he hit hard.
Here it is. Look how much time.
Great pickup.
Look how much time he has to throw that ball. Nice pass, and
then his adjustment
goes up with it.
Reminded me of one Cody Szymanski, the way he used to attack the ball when my son was able to, throw it up for him. Just let your playmakers go up and make a play. And, boy, I tell you what, Jack May is showing he's got some chops, Tom. And we've got Petrie in for the PAT again.
33-yard touchdown pass. May has 2 TD passes on the night. Bedford has a 35-3 lead with 1:41 to play in the third quarter, and one more touchdown by the Bulldogs without any North points, and it will be running time.
Running time. Running time.
Although I don't think the running time in football is the way it should be. I think they stop the clock too many times for other things.
I think that, sometimes, well, they have the rule in college now, but sometimes you want some reps to get your guys some reps.
Yeah, I think running time in football is good. The problem with running time in the federation rules is they don't stop it for everything. They don't stop it for penalties. If there's a flag down, don't stop the clock. They keep it going. In hockey, if there's a penalty, they keep the clock running.
Same thing with lacrosse. You watch your valuable reps for younger players get eaten up by breaks in the action that aren't really breaks in the action. All right, back on the kickoff duties go the Bedford Bulldogs, and picking it up this time is Jaden Bellio, and he does a pretty good return there, about 17 yards, and that takes us to the 1:30 mark. And we do have running time, although errantly so. And that rolled us down to 128. And the two-time defending champs, Bedford Bulldogs, 35. Nashua North Titans at 3. It's become very difficult, to say the least, Tom.
This has been a tough second half if you're a Nashua North fan. If you're Bedford, you're looking at, well, you know what? We're two-time defending state champions, and you know what? The three-peat looks pretty realistic.
Whole lot of season to play, and we'll get a kind of a barometer on Bedford next week as they have to travel to Thornton Academy in Saco, Maine, I believe. I think they won their state championship last year, but they waxed Pinkerton a couple weeks ago, did Thornton Academy. So that'll be interesting. We'll see how Bedford fares against that on their big road trip next week. And we're down to the 1-minute mark in the third period here, folks. Rich McDonough, Tom King up in the booth for Nashua ETV under the guidance of Executive Director, as you call him, DJ Petey Pete.
DJ PDP.
Pete Johnson. I'm kind of missing the outrigger music, the Hawaii Five-0 theme. It was always my favorite. Steve Miller will do, though. All right, good inside handoff underneath. Gave it over to Noble, but everybody and his brother for Bedford saw that handoff, and the sweep was coming underneath. And big number 73, that's Paul Gaudreau, was underneath that pile.
Noble loses yardage on that play.
Yeah, he lost
all the
2.
way back to the 25. It'll be 3rd and 10. Okay, who was your favorite Hawaii 5-0 villain? Not cop.
You got me.
Villain.
You got me. I did like Jack Lord, of course.
It's got to be obvious. It's the best one. The best Hawaii 5-0 has always been with this guy being the bad guy.
Digame, talk to me.
Woo fat.
Woo fat. You got it. You
the
got it.
Best. The best.
All right, and folks, with the clock rolling, that'll roll us out of the third quarter. Tom King, it was exciting if you're Bedford, not so much so if you're Nashua North.
35-3 the score. And it has been a tough second half for Nashua North. It was 14-3 at the half. Bedford with 21 unanswered points. And the way Nashua North's offense has played tonight, they will be hard-pressed to get in the end zone unless the second units come in.
Well, and they got to do it again here next week. They host Exeter.
Oh, boy, that's a tough start
and
to
it's a tall order,
that
especially after getting beat up. And, you hope Luke Peters comes back. But you like being here on your home field. They got to have a good week of practice. Try to learn something from this.
Well, there'll be a lot of film study during the week.
Sure.
I would love to be in that film, that classroom where they put the game on tape and run the film.
The only upside is they will not be facing a Brody Helton.
Well, they'll be facing some pretty good athletes.
Yeah, they're good, deep
and
program
a physical
there.
team in Exeter.
They're always physical.
I'll be interested to see how they make out in their season opener. Again, the opening week of any high school sports season, it's never the same at the beginning as it is at the end.
Yeah.
So you've got to wait and see how things work out.
But if you look at the Titans, okay, they host Exeter. They're taking it on the chin here tonight. And then they go out to Keene, Tom, and before they're at the Battle of the Bridge the following weekend. That Keene trip is never fun.
No, it's not.
Always athletic, scrappy players. All right, first and 10. First, yeah.
No, it's third down.
Third
down, and they're going to get a first.
Yeah, it says first and 10 on the scoreboard.
Right, that's wrong.
Yeah. And that was a terrific run.
Third and 12 by Sisse, I believe, right?
Or was it Roy Cortez?
Cortez?
Couldn't.
Number 5?
All right, nevertheless, it is first and 10 at the 38-yard line.
Alizé, who's a excellent basketball player.
Yeah, at least Roy Cortez.
Yep. Alizé.
Yeah,
Alizé is how it's said.
Yeah, gotcha. And we have called his name myriad times in basketball. Yeah, he can get it done out there.
He can, yep.
And flags are flying. I think we got holding on the interior of the Titans line. We'll get the call from you as quickly as we can. But again, Tom, we were just talking, that's a tough road. Exeter for North. Exeter, then they're at Keene, and that's a long drive, and it takes a lot of warm-up to unfold yourself after that bus ride. I've coached out there many times.
I saw a good Nashua North team 3 or 4 years ago get absolutely pounded physically by Keene, by an up-and-coming Keene team. I don't think that will happen this time around. But again, you never know. Penalties against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it was another personal foul on the interior.
Yep.
That'll walk, that's a face mask inside. That'll walk it back 15 and into Bulldogs territory. First down and 10 for the Titans at the 45. 11:20 on our scoreboard clock. Again, it's a lopsided 35-3 lead, and flags are flying again.
Got to be someone lined up.
Yeah, somebody's lined up wrong. Illegal formation.
Yep, they'll move it back.
Give them an explanation. And the dejection on the sidelines is clear. Yeah, lined up offside. I always think of Denzel Washington and remember the Titans going, he's lined up offside.
You know what, that is
He is lined up offside.
That is something that should not happen.
You can't. You got to look left and right. You check with the refs.
Cannot do that. They always check with the refs.
Yeah, you just turn your neck sideline and the ref will give you a thumbs up, or the ref will move you back if you're slightly out of position. Just check down. All right, that backs them up 5. It's first and 15 at the 50-yard line. Hard running there by Uveres, and he gets in back the 5 yards they just gave up, +1. That was a 6-yard run on first down and 15. That'll bring up 2nd and 9. 10:40 on the clock, Tom King. It seems to be ticking away pretty quickly now.
Well, North not trying to get it all back at once, obviously. They won't be able to do that in this game. But
yep. After that hard run, Malnar had a good tackle there. Frederick Malnar, sophomore. All right, at the 44-yard line, 2nd and 9 for the Titans, looking to get any kind of momentum they can out of these drives in the fourth quarter and take that with you into the locker room and into the film room this week. That's a read option there by Canaway. He chooses to keep it, and he's only able to get about a yard.
And he really didn't have anywhere else to go with. There was no one near him to pitch it to.
Yeah, Parker Boscheman made that good tackle from behind, but he was stonewalled by guys who held their lane on the Bedford line.
We're watching an offense, Rich McDonough, that is not in sync right now. It is not in sync, and you've got to figure it will be in about 3 or 4 weeks, but it may take that long. But this offense definitely is not complete.
You're going to go home and get your in-sync CDs out, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
All right, good rush. Canaway evades it and then is able to get that loose. He finds in his old trusty reliable that has been all night long is Burris. And he has proven him. I think Burris is a guy they got to use more. He's long and lean.
Sean Burris, a sophomore, able to make that catch. And, boy, I love the way he runs, but you're right, those long arms, he can catch just about anything.
And he's got great hands and then slippery in traffic. This is a good player, a sophomore. There's a lot to like out there. You got some sophomores giving coach some really good minutes. But speaking of minutes, we're almost 9 left in the game, Tom King, at 35-3. But again, Nashua North is trying to get anything it can, something of value.
Something of value to take into next week for them.
That's correct.
And also just to get their offense on track. Blitz coming.
Inside jailbreak screen, comes inside. He finds Roy Cortez. Roy Cortez showing why he's a great athlete.
A
and
tough
he
kid.
Slips inside now, and he didn't even get it with a pick.
Tough kid.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen him play football.
And he's a leaper, too. It's
Did
been
not
fun to call his
he
games.
didn't play football at South, I don't think. And I don't remember him last year.
I do not either.
No.
But they're great. They're glad to have a guy with sure hands and all that athleticism on their team this season. That's for darn sure. All right, after that nice catch and run by Roy Cortez.
Well, that's the thing, Rich. They've got guys you can do things with, right? Yeah. The problem is they're not clear yet on what they can do with them. It's
which is why they got to get some mojo out of these drives.
Exactly.
Get these quality reps.
Yeah.
And there, off tackle, inside handoff, and Perry, who's been doing the kickoff return duty. Nice slashing run to pick up a first down and move the chains. Good job by North, squeezing value out of this situation in the fourth quarter, being down by 32
and again,
points.
you don't see Luke Peters on the field, out there. He's been hurt, knee injury in a scrimmage.
Yeah.
Timeout on the field now with 7:59 to play. But Peters would make a difference. I mean, I love Peters on defense, but on offense as a multi-purpose back, slot the whole bit, the whole thing. He's a player that the opposing defenses have to know where he is at all times, he's lined up. So that takes a man away defensively that you have to cover him.
That's right.
So that clears things up a little bit. That would make a big difference for their offense.
Right, and hopefully he gets back in time for the Exeter game next weekend, a week from tonight, and they're gonna need him out there. I don't know that it's dramatically different if he's out there fully healthy tonight against these Bedford Bulldogs, but it's certainly they miss him, and they certainly miss that heart. He is a heart and soul type of guy, and I've described him in basketball as kind of that lunch bucket type of guy, just like his brother Jack. Also a terrific player, heart and soul player. All right, it is 1st and 10 for the Titans just inside the 18-yard line. Canaway throws it out wide, finds Noble, and Noble is able to corral that pass and drive it down to just about the 15-yard line, and he was tackled in there by Javon George. And he did gain 2 yards. That'll make it 2nd down and 8, and they mark it squarely at the 15-yard line, and we are squarely at the 7:30 mark now, Tom King. But if you're coach, if you're the coaching staff for Nashua North, you like what they're trying to squeeze out of this drive. You have to. And we got trips left, which are near side of our camera.
Kobe Perry.
Yeah, it's Perry again.
Yep.
And he was wrapped up by the interior of that Bedford line. I believe that was James Tamulovic, number 53. And now we're at 7 minutes and counting. That was another 1.5-yard gain this time, and they say 2nd and 8. It's a short 8, or third down and 8.
7 is what they're going to say at the 13-yard line. I remember Kobe Perry when he was a Pop Warner player. The thought then was that he might not go to any of the national schools. He might go prep or somewhere else, but no, he stayed at North, and a good track athlete as well.
All right, rolling out is Canaway. Good block on the edge there, held by Uveris.
That's not a good throw.
And a bad throw, picked up and picked off by, looks like Eric Millis.
Yep, number 20 for Bedford, Eric Millis.
Yeah, he was
but you're going to watch Canaway. He's got
gift.
a receiver in the flat, and he decides he wants to throw it in the end zone. Problem is he force-fed it into triple coverage. So let's see this again.
Uveris had this nice chip block on the right side there.
Watch the receiver. He's got a receiver in the flat. He's right there.
He's got to let that go now.
And he lets it go, and you throw it, and there's 5 people there, and 3 of them are white jerseys.
Did you see, though, the Bedford, the interior, their linebacking core and their cornerback looked like they were going to come up and play Noble, and then they all sat back toward the goal line.
But
they baited him.
He had a receiver in the flat,
wide
Noble
open.
was
for that
right
3
there.
second.
Throw it to him. He never looked there. never looked.
But then
That's what you have to do.
watch the gang retreat, and they snuffed out the whole thing. All right, 1st and 10 after that first turnover of the game. And Bedford goes back on offense. 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. And, yeah, you never say never, but I feel like the bus is starting to warm up.
Well, if you're just joining us, it was a long drive as Nashua North chewed up over 9 minutes of clock time on their first possession. And they came up empty with a missed field goal. Not a good feeling.
Got all the way down to 9-yard line.
But you had the feeling, okay, we can hold the ball against this team and keep it away from one Brody Helton. Well, Brody Helton, every time he touched the ball, made something happen. And he only needs to touch it 3 or 4 times to do that.
And he's probably over 150 yards at this point. We don't have official stats up here, but he's earned them all.
Oh, I got him. I'm just too lazy to add him up.
Especially with a gimpy leg in the second half. But it has been a tale of 2 halves, Tom.
It has. And there's a side pass. He's got some running room.
Yeah, Parker Bosheim's in at quarterback. He's a lefty. Good job and a beautiful run downfield. That
and
would
you know,
be Durso.
I like that with Bedford.
Yeah, I do too.
To take their main guys out of the game.
But
you know, I think that's what you should do. You're up 35-3 with 5:14 to go. You know the other team is not going to score that many points.
Oh, sure you do. Sure you do.
Time.
But also, you know, you also have to think about October and November. If you're Coach Matthews, you want as deep a team as you can get by the time the tournament comes around. And I coached lacrosse for upwards of 30 years, Tom, and give me depth by the last third of the season.
Oh, yeah, you need it.
That's why we got to do this.
You need it.
And then injuries happen. Look at Brody Helton. You got to find somebody who can carry the torch. Good job by the quarterback, the newly minted quarterback, Bosheim, excuse me. He's a big kid, too. He's 6'3", 195.
Look at him. He doesn't look like a quarterback.
No,
out there.
More like
looks like a tight end.
Looks more like Kevin Sheridan, who was their All-State end and is now playing D1 Stonehill. I saw his preseason roster addition. He is now billed at 6'3", 250, Tom King, is Kevin Sheridan.
That's just
it.
Stonehill. When they go away, Rich McDonough, you don't recognize them when they come back. for a father who's got a freshman at college.
Yeah, well, Mike McDonough's happy at UVA, and he got his first ACC game in last weekend. All right, going no place with the Bull Rush. Stout defensive line led out there by Kobe Rezinandino. And that takes us down to almost the 4-minute mark.
Rich McDonough, in my mind, Michael McDonough pulled a Barry Sanders. He retired too soon.
I think he did too. I would love to see him play.
And you can tell him I said that.
I'd love to see him play in
He showed
college.
last year. He showed last year what he can do on the football field with that arm, with his vision, with his ability to even run with the ball. He would have made a good Division II or Division III team proud.
I think so.
Yep.
I mean, look at BC's quarterback is the same height and weight.
Yep.
Mike's not as fast as he is, but I see a lot of the same shiftiness. But anyway, here we are. It's 3rd down and 6 at the 39-yard line. Low snap, nicely handled. But in the backfield, waiting for it, like he was in the play call in the huddle, was Denzel Delgado de Jesus.
Delgado de Jesus in the right spot. Does a good job to get back there, see where the ball is, and just sheds his block and makes the play.
And creates a 4-yard loss in the process. Bring it back to the 35-yard line in a 4th and 10, and here comes the punting crew.
Bulldogs will punt, I believe. Is this the first time that they've punted or the second? I think this is their first punt of the night.
And Helton is in the punt.
Yep. No, maybe it's the second, because he remember he aggravated that cramp on his first punt.
Well,
he aggravated the cramp on the first punt, so this is his second one.
You have several players on both sides of the field here who can do a lot of quality things for their teams and coaches. It's impressive. Taking every second they possibly can. No hurry to do anything here. And
they might even take
I think they took a timeout.
They took a timeout or a penalty? No, they took the timeout.
Took timeout.
Did not take the delay game call.
They
We're down to 2:30
Probably
to
realize
play.
the officials have dinner on the stove, and they're trying to poke them in the eye. Well, again, looking forward. We talked about Nashua North. As I said, the Bulldogs are headed out to Maine to play at Thornton Academy next weekend. The following week, they're here to see Bishop Girton.
Right, they are.
And then they're at their home. Finally, they get a home game against Goffstown.
3 road games. Yeah,
And Goffstown's got themselves a new coach and apparently a good attitude.
Did not treat the two-time defending champions well, did they? With the schedule. My goodness.
Well, the upside is they'll have more home games down the stretch.
Well, with a minute to play, Rich McDonough, I will make my way down.
All right,
to
Tom,
the,
it's
down
always
the field.
a pleasure.
I've got another minute 30 to go. You're stuck with me for another minute and a half.
Oh, say it ain't so.
How about that, huh?
You gonna fire up the Tom Pound later?
You know, I've been grilling all week. I think
Attaboy.
tonight is going to be a soup night. I think that's what we're going to do. We'll fire up the Tom Pound tomorrow.
I did a 6-pound round on the Weber kettle the other night. And I got leftovers ready to go tonight.
Now, I put salmon on the grill the other night, Rich McDonough, and I thought I was going to burn the whole place down. I left it alone. I came back out. It was almost it didn't get burned, but it was on fire.
So, did you eat it?
Oh, quite. It wasn't burned. It was
Okay.
It was good. Oh no, it's still good. Oh, I still have some.
So you smoked it?
Pretty much.
Smoked salmon's okay?
Pretty much.
In fact, it's great. Well, after that punt that rolled down to the 39-yard line, the Titans start in their own end of the field. And with a relatively short field, and we finally get a quarterback change for Nashua North. Dropping back is that Perry?
Perry or Sisse.
Yeah, it was a direct snap to Kobe Perry, and he shows some jets right there.
That would be Sisse, I would believe, as the quarterback. No, it's not.
Yeah, he gets all the way down to the Bedford 41-yard line. So that gives him a really nice...
that's a 21-yard run.
31.
21 yards. He was at the 38.
Oh, he was at the 39-yard line, right. Well, great job by Perry there.
Oh, he's a good athlete.
Actually, he did run almost
player.
30 yards because he was about 10 yards deep in the backfield.
Yeah, I know. He's a good football player. He's always been a good player.
Well, he showed some wheels there.
And has played well in the secondary in the past when they needed him last year down the stretch.
So you actually saw him playing Pop Warner ball, huh?
I didn't see him. I did a couple stories on him because they were going to some national event.
I see. Well, here he gets the ball again. He's dragging people with him. He's diminutive, but he's clearly a strong young man.
Rich McDonough, if I had the time to go see Pop Warner football on Sundays after
I was about to ask if there are actually three of you.
It would be a miracle.
Well, miracles do happen.
Yeah, they do.
And we are under 2 minutes, speaking of time on the clock. And it's rolling away. So Coach Chad Zabolis has some work to do, some things to think about. He's got to get Luke Peters healthy this week.
No, you don't want to rush him back either.
Nope.
So remember, 13 teams make the playoffs in Division I. All you got to do is get in, then you see what happens.
Well, and Bedford 2 seasons ago has proved positive. I think they were the 10th seed in the seeding tournament, and they had caught fire near the end of that season, 2022. But they showed their worth.
They caught fire at the end of that season and went right through a playoff march with that defense. The only team that scored on them, Londonderry, had 2 touchdowns in the first half of the championship game 2 years ago. Did not score in the second half, and Bedford won the title. And then last year, they just blew everybody away. They had an offense and a defense. So, all right, Rich McDonough, you take it away.
Always good to be with you, Tom.
Been a pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow night. I'll make fun of you while you're on the PA.
Thank you so much. And Perry gets the call, goes right side, just outside the far hash mark there. We are under a minute. We're at 44.6 as Tom King is taking off for the evening. Rich McDonough here. I'll finish out with you for the rest of the night. It's been real fun. It's our opening broadcast of the 2024 fall sports season and football, of course. And we're lucky to be here tonight. And we're always lucky to have our great crew, of course, with Nashua ETV. Executive Director Pete Johnson, Tim O'Neill on camera and Dan Young producing back in the shop. And we welcome JoJo DeFossi here, who is a Nashua North student and getting her chops on the camera, learning from the great Tim O'Neill. Never a bad thing. And we're winding it out to 10 seconds. So on a night where we had a tale of two halves, with Nashua North looking like it could hang tight and chew some clock and stay with the game plan, we saw Bedford Bulldogs stiffen up and then come out in the second half snarling, and they marched down the field over and over again on the strength of Brody Helton and on the arm of Jack May, their excellent senior quarterback. So the defending champs go to 1-0. Nashua North goes to 0-1 with some work to do, but we'll be here tomorrow night for a big game. Right, Bishop Girton will be here taking on South, and as Tom King, there's a lot to like about both teams, but they're kind of a mystery. So come back in, tune in. That's a 6 o'clock start. And for everybody here at Nashua ETV, my name's Rich McDonough. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you down the road.